everyone, it's Brooklyn and welcome back to another movie of the week. And the movie this week was 8th Grade from 2018, so if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If this is your first movie of the week, what I do is I talk about a movie here, you guys comment below your thoughts, and at the end of every video I say the movie for next week so you can follow along. So it's kind of interesting because a lot of the movies I watch deal with people who are older than me, and so it's weird. 2018, I must have been 17 or 18. And it's weird that like watching someone who's younger than me and like having gone through that, it's a different element. But I do think it's interesting that there's this part of this, and I kind of forgot that she records these videos of her talking, and we'll get a little bit into like why she records it, but it's kind of interesting because this is kind of like what I do is like I record videos of me talking and put it on YouTube. It's like literally me talking. Obviously the topic is very different and everything, but you can 100% see it in the opening scene. You see it later on when she does the videos as well, but she says like she does a lot of pauses in her speaking and everything. That's what I do. I mean, I think probably I'm a little bit better at speaking, but I'm also like not the greatest. And I know I say and like a lot, and I'm trying to like get away from that. I'm trying to be better articulator, I guess. And it's something that I'm working on. And obviously as more as I do these videos, the better speaker I think I would be. But it hits home with like the and like, and I think it's good to like try to help your speaking, and especially in front of a group of people, because it's good and it makes you sound smarter the less you say and like and things like that. Things like that. In those times you have to say it. Something I'm also trying to do is say more complicated or bigger words, which is a little bit harder to do, but I'm trying to add it in more. But I think it's important when you're doing these videos to be like, watch them back, which I obviously do, but also taking note like, oh wow, I'm saying like a lot, and try to stay away from that. Try to improve every time you do these videos. So anyway, she does all these videos, and I didn't realize it my first time watching it, like when it was the first video and she's talking about, what's the first video about, being yourself or something? I was like, oh yeah, like I didn't even realize because she's saying like, and I was like, oh yeah, she's confident, she got herself. So it's so crazy that she does these videos about things that she knows nothing about and just so different. But it's also that kind of era where like everyone just like, I don't know, it's a little bit different because they're just older, but they're putting themselves out there on social media, and social media is such a big presence at that age. And I can't imagine like being that time and having social media as that presence. Like I think I was about her age when I got Instagram, but like Instagram was still new then and it was completely different. And it's crazy. I think obviously TikTok wasn't around when this came out, but I imagine like how like TikTok would have played into a factor of this movie. When you think about this movie, it is a coming of age movie. And I feel like most coming of age movies are so sad. I'm trying to think, have we done a coming of age movie before? And I was like looking at our list, and I feel like we have done one and talked about it, but I'm like, nothing like really strikes me as a coming of age movie. I was like, okay, Napoleon Dynamite, is that a coming of age movie? Because I'm just like, maybe I'm just like forgetting. Like I was looking at the list, but like maybe I'm forgetting. I don't know. But I feel like coming of age movies are always so sad. It's so sad. And it's like, can we have a coming of age movie that's like fun and lighthearted, which kind of Napoleon Dynamite I would say is. But yeah, this is a sad coming of age movie, and I think it's such an interesting time period too. It's the transition from middle school to high school, and I would say high school is so much different than middle school. I feel like elementary school is different than middle school. I think every time you transition to a different point in your life, like it's so different. So like transitioning from high school to college was very different, and then transitioning from college to like the real world and like being out of college was also a big transition that I feel like they don't talk about. And like I feel like that's also coming of age too. I feel like any transition in life there just needs to be more, but it's also, they're all so sad, and I would like one that's like a little bit more positive and like lighthearted. And so it's an interesting time too, because I think it was like 1 week at the end of middle school, but so she's not in high school yet, so you don't see that transition in high school, but she spent that day at the high school, and then made friends with the high school and was hanging out with high schoolers. So you got to see those elements of high school. I think what was good is not good, but she is socially awkward and everything, and she's shy. Also, they had the superlatives, and most shy, like why is that one of them? Like just don't include that. That's like so dumb. But I think I kind of resonated with it a little bit because obviously I feel like I'm very different than her, but there's been times where like I've been so lonely and unsure of myself and scared and shy in a way. So even though you're not exactly like her, I feel like you can look back and like resonate in some way to that, because even though like I wasn't necessarily like the shyest person and I did have friends, like I wasn't popular. So, oh my God, that brings up one point. So we didn't really see, well, I'll get into that part. I'm all over the place. But there was that video that she made at the beginning of middle school that she was able to watch. And so then at the end you see that she makes a video at the end of middle school that she wants to watch at the end of high school. And we never made videos, but we would write letters. Like we had, I feel like in elementary school, maybe middle school, they were like, oh, write this letter and we'll like send it to you at the end of elementary school or middle school or when you turn 18. Like I remember I did at least like 2 or 3 of those. Never received them. I've never received them. Never have received those like letters from past himself. And I kind of want to, but I remember writing those. And I'm like thinking like, did anyone receive those? Or did teachers just have them had us write those so that they could just read them themselves? Because I've never received any of those and it makes me upset. It makes me mad. I think what's also really good from a cinematic and filmmaking standpoint is they kind of brought us into her perspective. So there was a lot of times where we were just seeing things and they would like cut out the dialogue, or, you know, they would do the her monologue over the dialogue, so like in that scene it would be cut out or there'd be music. So we were kind of seeing things from a different perspective. When she dived into the water, the change of the sound was different. I noticed that. And sometimes we were seeing things from her perspective, like we were seeing her watching something but we weren't watching that. Or when she was like looking up videos on YouTube, we didn't listen, we just saw. So it's kind of interesting that they did that kind of element, because we're her, but we're also like watching her. So it's a little bit different. So when she, you know, it feels like it's great. Like she found someone who's in a high school who like makes her feel good and everything and introduces her to her friends. And then her dad is watching her in the mall. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that literally is so bad. Like, I feel like as a parent, if you just want to like look to just make sure they're okay, but to then be watching them the entire time. But then what happened with her and that guy in the car is just so hard to watch and so sad and so uncomfortable. And it's something where it makes me hate men even more, but it makes me something that makes me so sad, because like this guy knew that she was shy. He knew that she was inexperienced. He knew that she would just say yes to things, and he was taking advantage of her. That was that. He was taking advantage of her. And then when she actually did stick up for herself, which I'm so happy, and then she was like, no, I don't want to, or whatever, he was then saying mean things to her, because it just makes me really sad. And it kind of shows like there are still a lot of bad things in high school, and it's a different level. It just kind of shows it's a different level, and it's really sad to see a guy take advantage of her like that. And we don't clearly, that's another thing with the cinematic part of it, we don't know if she like told her dad about it, because we just see like her dad comforting her, but we see how she starts doing these videos. We see how like something, because it is like a traumatic event, we see how she loves these videos even though like seems like no one comments or likes them or whatever. It's something that she does for herself, kind of like I do these videos for myself. I'm always like, comment on these videos. I never get comments. So it's something where it's like, I just know, and I just like kind of do it for myself because it's a hobby of mine. It's just kind of as a way to release. It gives me some structure. It's just something I like to do. And as I said, I'm like practicing my speech and whatever else. So it kind of sad that it took the light away from her. And then at the end, you see like this guy, you know, you see like she has this friendship with this guy, and he's a lot like her, and they're both very shy, and and it feels very pure and good. And so it's like, okay, there's some light. Like she's, you know, has this friend who seems very much like her, and it just seems like a good friendship. And she did at that end record that video for her high school self. So even though it wasn't like her doing those videos again, he said he liked those videos, her friend. But maybe that gives promise that maybe she'll get back out there and do those videos. There's that whole element of like her mom. Like I obviously forgot, so I thought like, oh, maybe her mom died, but it sounds like her mom left, and she also kind of like blamed herself, like she was the reason her mom left, which is kind of sad. That's something else I want to say about like the whole taking advantage stuff, is that this character, you know, she might be shy, she might not be as outgoing, she might be scared, but she's a pure heart. Deep down, she's a good person. She always says, please, thank you, like, no problem. She has a kind soul, and deep down, she just, like, wants to be loved and just wants to share love and, like, be friends with people and then be friends with her. And so it's so sad, like, these people deep down are, like, and that's kind of how I felt, is, like, deep down, like, I was always, like, so kind, just wanted to be friends with everyone, just wanted to be loved by everyone. But a lot of people are not that way, and so it kind of like hurts you and like treats you not good, and so it makes you like lose some of that. And then people also take advantage of that because you have such a good heart, and like we see that with her. So that was a lot, and I guess there is a lot to say with coming of age movies, but this is definitely a good coming of age movie just because I feel like also the acting was really good, and we didn't talk about that. But the acting is really good and like was perfect in what was needed, and I think they did a really good job with this movie. But yeah, I want to coming of age movies, there's not a lot of them, and they're always so sad, and I just want maybe more positive and lighthearted ones. I don't know, but it's hard because coming of age, that's kind of the point, is that they're sad and it's like a hard time in life. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching this movie, or this video of me talking about a movie. So comment below your thoughts about 8th grade. And then the movie for next week is Tangled from 2010. So make sure you watch. So comment about 8th grade, watch Tangled for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.